Imagine an internet experiment with strict parameters: 8 writers, 8 chapters, 0 contact between them. One person finishes their piece, hands it off, and the next person has to pick up the narrative thread completely blind to where it's going. The only guidance these strangers received before writing was a single thematic prompt: courage. The first author opens the story in a stuffy, windowless courtroom. A young boy named Marcus is sitting on the witness stand, while a lawyer presses him for details about what he saw in his neighbor's driveway. Marcus tells the court he saw a dark car, and he heard voices, but he couldn't make out the exact words. He is stating facts that are technically true. He is also lying by omission. He purposefully leaves out the defining event. His 9-year-old classmate Sarah was sitting next to him in that car when her father broke her arm. Marcus leaves Sarah out to protect himself. Telling the full truth means giving a formal testimony, becoming an official witness, and carrying the weight of a domestic violence case on his shoulders. Given the choice, he retreats into a safer silence. Sitting directly behind him, his mother catches on to what he's doing. She immediately grabs her purse and walks out of the courtroom, terrified that her son has failed the testimony they practiced together in their kitchen. By the end of these opening chapters, the writers have constructed a profound narrative vacuum. Everyone in that courtroom knows the abuse happened, but no character is willing to carry the burden of saying it out loud. The next authors in the relay introduce a new character to fill that void. Nicole arrives 14 minutes late, sits awkwardly on the purse Marcus's mother left behind, and starts drawing dogs on a legal pad instead of paying attention to the trial. This flowchart illustrates the legal structure of a courtroom in these situations. Nicole is the guardian ad litem. She is a court-appointed proxy designed specifically to step in when parents are compromised, acting as a direct, independent bridge to represent the child's best interests. Because Nicole accidentally took the mother's chair, she finds herself positioned right behind Marcus. She watches his posture tighten. She notices him digging his fingernail into a split piece of wood on the chair. His physical tension forces her to listen. Sarah suffered a compound fracture, sounding like a snapped branch. Marcus couldn't have heard it from afar. The parents' cover story fractures, and Nicole's role activates. She stands up in the middle of the proceeding. She stops the trial, admits her negligence to the judge, and demands an immediate recess. Nicole sits down with Sarah in a small side room. For the first time in the entire legal process, someone actually asks the 9-year-old victim what happened and listens to the answer. Sarah explains an impossible, painful psychological paradox. She needs her father to stop hurting her, but she also needs him to stay. She knows that if she testifies, her father might go to jail, and she will lose the only family she has. The system, finally functioning properly through Nicole, confronts a brutal reality. True advocacy often requires forcing a victim to completely dismantle their own life in order to survive it. The final authors in the relay hand the story over to Sarah. She walks to the exact same wooden chair where Marcus sat an hour earlier, finding the same split in the back corner. She takes the oath and systematically dismantles the lie. She tells the judge exactly how her father twisted her arm over a dispute about mud on the kitchen floor, explicitly rejecting the bicycle accident cover story on the official record. The fallout is immediate. Her father retreats into defensive anger, claiming she's been poisoned against him. Her mother stands up, looks at her husband, says, "I can't do this anymore," and walks out of the marriage permanently. The judge issues the legal consequence right there on the stand. Sarah will not be returning home. She is stripped from her family and placed immediately into state protective custody. Sarah achieves physical safety, but it costs her her house, her belongings, and her parents. As she walks out of the courtroom, Marcus watches her, finally understanding the true price of his cowardice. This fictional courtroom drama operates exactly like the meta-reality of the internet experiment that created it. This diagram shows a visual chain linking 3 key players: the witness, the advocate, and the victim. The story only resolves because the real-world authors trusted the next stranger to pick up the narrative thread, just as Nicole had to pick up where Marcus failed, and Sarah had to finish what Nicole started. Breaking a systemic cycle of abuse demands a continuous chain of people willing to pass the burden of truth forward, over and over, until the silence is permanently broken.